Hello everyone! So this is Teacher Jenny at ang discussion na to ay para sa Week 4 ng module for Mathematics Grade 7. So bago tayo mag-start para sa Week 4, magkaroon muna tayo ng recall sa mga bagay na diniscuss natin nung Week 3. So yun ay yung addition and subtraction of integers. At bago tayo mag-proceed para sa discussion ng Week 4, magkakaroon din tayo ng additional topic which is yung multiplication and division. So kailangan nating i-recall yung mga yon para sa ating week 4. So we have here the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of integers. So na-discuss na natin yung addition and subtraction. Magbibigay lang ako ng konting example para at least mabalikan natin. Okay, so first step for addition of integers ay meron tayong case na positive plus positive. So sabi natin last time, we just need to add the numbers or the integers and then copy positive sign. So example here is positive 2 plus positive 10. So just add the two integers. So I have 10 plus 2 is 12. Then copy the positive sign. That's it. At sa second case naman natin, we have negative plus negative. So, i-add lang natin yung two integers and then the answer is negative. Meaning to say, example, we have negative 2 plus negative 10. Just add the two integers or their absolute value, which is 2 and 10. So, meron tayong 12 and then copy the negative sign. So, negative 12. Then the third case is the integers with different sign. So, paano naman yan? For example, I have positive 2, tapos yung isa ay negative 10. Sabi natin, ang ating first step ay to subtract their absolute value. And si 2, disregard natin yung sign, so 2 and then 10. Subtract natin, disregard the position, so 10 minus 2, that's 8. Correct? Tapos, anong sign yung susundin natin? Since meron tayo mas malaki yung absolute value nitong 10 kaysa dito kay 2, so meaning to say, we will need to copy the sign of negative 10. So, meron tayo ngayong negative 8. Next for our recall ay yung subtraction of integers. So, sa subtraction of integers, for example, meron ako ditong positive 5 minus negative 10. Ang ating first step is to change the operation to addition. So, instead na subtraction siya, magiging addition siya ngayon. So, we have positive 5 plus negative 10. Since binago natin yung operation to addition, sabi natin last time, we need to change the sign of the subtrahend as well. So we have here positive 5, since binago natin yung plus ng minus, and then itong negative magiging positive 10 siya. Tama? And then after that, we need to follow the rule of addition. Since addition na siya, we just need to follow the rule of addition. So we have 5 plus 10, we have positive 15. Therefore, positive 5 minus negative 10 is equal to positive 15. Okay, that's for subtraction and addition of integers. Ito namang sumunod ay yung multiplication of and division of integers. Hindi pa natin siya na-discuss last week. Pero ito ay napakadali. So we just need to follow same rule for multiplication and division. Ibig sabihin, pareho lang sila ng rules. So we have, pag same sign, ang sagot lagi ay positive. Yun yung tatandaan nyo. Pag same sign, ang sagot lagi is positive. For example, I have here positive multiplied to a positive. Simple lang. Ipag-multiply nyo silang dalawa, tapos positive pa rin yung sagot. So, for example, I have positive 3 times positive 3. So, that's positive 9. Correct? Ganun kasimple. What if I have negative times negative? Since same sign nga, laging positive. So, ibig sabihin, negative times negative, still positive. Okay? So, meron tayong, for example, negative 3 multiplied to negative 3, same negative, still positive 9. Okay? So, lagi nyo lang tatandaan. Pag same sign, that's positive. Next, what if I have different sign? So, meron akong, for example, una ay positive times negative. Ang sagot ay negative. Ito naman yung tatandaan nyo. Since pag same sign ay lagi siyang positive, ngayon, pag magkaiba naman yung sign, siya ay negative. Okay? For example, in the first case ng different sign, meron tayong positive 4 multiply by negative 2. So, that is negative 8. Imumultiply nyo lang yung number, 4 times 2, that's 8, and negative yung sagot. Bakit? Kasi isa ay positive, isa ay negative. Okay? Next example. What if I have negative times positive na una si negative? Pareho lang yon. Basta magkaiba yung sign, ang sagot ay negative. Okay? Example, I have here, si 4 naman yung negative. I have negative 4 times positive 2. We will come up with the same answer, which is negative 8. Ibig sabihin, 4 times 2, that's 8. Since isa ay positive, isa ay negative, sagot natin ay negative. Okay? Ulit, for multiplication and division, pareho yung rules natin. Pag same sign, that will always be positive. Okay? Pag different sign, ang sagot ay laging negative. Okay, same lang siya sa division. Same rules tayo. So, if same sign, we have positive divided by positive, that will be positive. So, example, ay meron tayong positive 3 divided by positive 3. So, we have positive 1. And then, kapag meron naman tayong negative divided by negative, pareho silang negative, same sign, so positive pa din yung sagot. So, we have negative 3 divided by negative 3, that's positive 1. Okay? Next, pag different sign naman, positive divided by negative, ang sagot ay negative. So, meron tayong positive 4 divided by negative 2, so that is negative 2. Negative divided by positive, so meron tayong negative 4, isa ay positive 2. So, pag dinivide natin yan, 4 divided by 2, that's 2, correct? At ang sign na susundin natin ay yung negative sign. Ulit, multiplication division, ang tatandaan nyo lang, same sign, always positive. Different sign, that is negative. Ngayon naman, proceed tayo dun sa ating Module 4. At meron tayong learning task number 1, which is to complete this table. Complete the table below by filling in the sum or the product. So, dito sa ating topic for week 4, focus tayo doon sa sum and product. Meaning to say addition and multiplication. So, we have here 5 plus 3 and then 3 plus 5. So, what is 5 plus 3? So, that is 8. Correct? And then, meron tayong 3 plus 5 and that's still 8. So, kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, na iba lang yung position ng number. But still, pareho yung sagot. Okay, later, madidiscuss natin yan. Next is 0 plus 6. The answer is 6. 11 plus 0. The answer is 11. So, kung mapapansin nyo, pag may inad pala tayong number kay 0, ang laging sagot ay yung sarili niya. So, madidiscuss din natin yan mamaya. Then, we have here 2 plus 3 plus 4. So, di ba sa ating PEMDAS, kailangan nating unahin yung nasa parenthesis, correct? So, meron tayo dito 2 plus 3 ay nasa loob ng parenthesis, meaning to say, uunahin natin siya. So, what is 2 plus 3? So, that is 5. Plus 4, and the answer is 9. Next is yung kabila naman. Ang nasa loob naman ng parenthesis ay yung 3 at saka yung 4. So, what's 3 plus 4? So, that's 7. Plus 2, still, pareho ng sagot, we have 9. Okay? Ang nabago lang dito ay yung groupings. But still, we come up with the same answer. And then, meron naman tayo dito sa kabila, which is for multiplication. So, tatandaan nyo, huwag kayong malilito. Kapag walang operation sa gitna at may nakita kayong parenthesis na ganito, ibig sabihin yan, multiplication yan. Or kaya yung dot. Okay? Yung parang dot sa gitna, yung nasa pinakagitna, so that's for multiplication also. So, tingnan natin, 2 times 7, so that is 14. Nabago ng position, so we have 7 times 2, ang sagot pa rin ay 14. Ngayon, meron naman tayong 1 times 10, sagot ay 10. And 1 times 8, ang sagot ay 8. Kung mapapansin nyo, pag nag-times tayo ng number sa 1, ang sagot ay yung number pa din. Tama? And then we have 0 times 21. Ang sagot dyan ay 0. 5 times 0, ang sagot ay 0 pa rin. So, kung mapapansin natin, pag pala nag-times tayo ng number sa 0, ang sagot ay laging 0. Okay? So, ang activity na to ay may kinalaman sa topic natin for this day. So, that is the properties of operation on integers. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong mga different properties of operation na kailangan sundin pag magpa-plus tayo at multiply ng integers. Okay, so for our objectives, meron tayong first is recalls the rules of performing operation on integers. So, nagawa na natin yan. And then the second is illustrate the different properties of operation in set of integers. And the third one is considers the property of operation and set in adding and multiplying integers. So in adding or multiplying integers, you have to consider the different properties of operation. Yung nga gaya na sinabi ko kanina, sa pag-add natin at pag-multiply ng integers, meron tayong mga bagay na kailangang i-consider or mga properties na kailangang i-consider. Okay? Yung mga properties na yon. So meron tayong for addition, properties of addition and properties of multiplication. Una ay meron tayong closure property. So pareho silang merong closure property. And then yung pangalawa ay meron tayong commutative property. Next is associative property at identity property. Next is inverse property. And then dito sa multiplication, meron tayong tinatawag na zero property. And then distributive property of multiplication over addition. So, unahin natin yung closure property. So, paano nga ba to? In closure property of addition, tingnan natin ha. Meron tayong 7 plus 12 is equal to 19. Ang closure property para tong first is yung addends natin. Ang first addend natin ay positive 7, tama? At ito ay mako-consider natin as integers, right? Kasi ang integer, ang definition natin sa integers ay negative numbers, positive, and 0. And then itong 12 ay mako-consider din nating integer. Tama? So, ibig sabihin ba, kapag nag-add tayo ng two integers, ang laging sagot ay integers? Yes, just like this. Ang 19 ay still integers, correct? So, meaning to say, this addition is under closure property. So, this is closed for addition since the addends are integers and the sum is also an integer. Again, under siya ng closure property kasi ang addends ay integers and then yung sagot ay integers pa rin. So, same sa multiplication. Closure property of multiplication, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-multiply tayo ng two integers, ang magiging sagot niya ay integer pa rin. So, let's have this. Negative 3 is considered as integer. Tama? At ang negative 8 ay integer din. I mean, positive 8 ay integer pa din. So, yung negative 24 ay integer pa rin. So, ibig sabihin, this is close under multiplication since yung factors niya, ibig sabihin ng factors, yung dalawang pinagmumultiply natin, yung negative 3 and 8, ay integers yan. At yung nagiging sagot or yung product ay integer pa rin. So, that is for closure property. Next ay meron tayong commutative property. So, ano naman ba itong commutative property? So, sa commutative property, ang lagi nating tatandaan siyang word is yung order. Okay? Order. Ano bang order yan? Order ng pagkain or what? No. Yan yung parang arrangement ng numbers. Okay? So, tingnan natin. For commutative property of addition, let's have an example. Meron tayong 6 plus negative 2. Ano ba yung 6 plus negative 2? Diba? Different sign, isa-subtract natin. That's 4. And then copy positive. So, meron tayong positive 4. Correct? Ngayon, tingnan natin. Baliktarin nga natin yung 6 plus negative 2. Gawin natin negative 2 plus 6. Ano pa rin kaya yung magiging sagot? Okay? Ang magiging sagot pa rin yan ay positive 4. Correct? So, ibig sabihin, for any integers A and B, pag daw merong integers na A and B, sa kahit anong integers na A and B, ang A plus B is equal to B plus A. Ibig sabihin, the order of addends will not affect the sum. So, kapag kayang dalawang integers na yan, kahit pagbaliktarin mo yung position niyan, ibig sabihin, hindi magbabago yung sagot niyan. We will come up with the same answer. So, that is commutative property of addition. Ulit, kahit baguhin mo yung order, yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng numbers, makakarating ka sa parehong sagot. So, that's commutative property of addition. Same with multiplication. Ibig sabihin naman ng commutative property of multiplication, so tingnan natin, if I have here 7 multiply sa negative 5, ang sagot dyan ay negative 35. Correct? Mumultiply lang natin, 35. Tapos, different sign, that's negative. Paano pag binaliktad ko? Meron akong negative 5 times positive 7. same pa din ang magiging sagot. We still have negative 35. Ibig sabihin, for any integers, a multiplied by b, equal pa rin siya sa b multiply to a. So, the order of factors will not affect the product. So, ibig sabihin, kahit pagbalik-baliktarin natin, yung order or yung pagkakasunod-sunod nung numbers na ipagmumultiply natin, hindi siya makaka-apekto sa sagot. Okay, that's commutative property. Next, kung ang commutative property ay order, meron naman tayo ditong associative property. Yung associative property naman ay groupings. Ano kaya yan? So, let's have associative property of addition. I have here 3 plus 7 plus negative 4. Di ba sabi natin, uunahin natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, we have here 3 plus 7, yun yung uunahin natin, and the answer is 10, correct? Answer here is 10, and then plus negative 4. So, that is positive 6. Tama? So, tingnan naman natin, baguhin na nga natin yung groupings, baguhin natin yung may parenthesis, hindi si 3 plus 7. Gawin naman natin na si 7 at saka si 4. Inilipat ko lang yung parenthesis. Ibig sabihin, binago ko yung groupings. Tingnan natin kung mapupunta tayo sa same answer. So, we have 7 plus negative 4. Ang sagot ay positive 3, correct? Kasi different sign, ipagma-minus natin, that's 3. Susundin natin yung mas malaki, that's 7, so positive 3. Plus 3. Tama? So, I have 3 plus 3, still 6. So, ibig sabihin, in addition, ayan, equal sila. For any integers a, b, and c, kahit baguhin natin yung groupings of addends o yung mga bagay or mga numbers na ina-add natin, baguhin man natin yung groupings nila o yung parentheses, hindi nun maaapektuhan yung sagot or yung sum. So, that is associative property of addition. So, ibig sabihin, in associative property of multiplication ay ganun din. So, for example, we have here 4 times 5 times 7. So, unahin natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis, yung ginroup na 4 and 5. So, 4 times 5 is 20, correct? Multiply by 7, that is 140. Tama? Paano naman pag binago ko yung groupings? Ginawa kong 5 times 7 muna, yung ginroup ko. So, meron akong 5 times 7 is 35, correct? Multiply to 4, so that is still 140. Ibig sabihin, itong associative property of multiplication ay ganun din. So, kahit baguhin natin yung groupings ng ating factors, still, magkakaroon tayo ng same product or hindi maapektuhan yung product natin. So, for any integers a, b, and c, a times b times c is equal to a times quantity of b times c. Different groupings of factors will not affect the product. Okay? Ulit, commutative property, yung kanina, meron tayo yung order. Ito namang associative property ay groupings. Kahit baguhin natin yung groupings ng ating addends or ng factors, hindi mababago yung sagot. So, ngayon, meron naman tayong identity property. So, sa identity property naman, ang word na ibibigay ko sa inyo para lagi nyo siyang matandaan ay yung itself. Yung salitang itself. For example, I have your identity property of addition. So, ano ba yung number na pag in-add natin sa isang number, ang sagot ay sarili pa rin niya. So, that is 0, correct? 15 plus 0, yan ay 15 pa din. If I have 0 plus negative 8, negative 8 pa din yung sagot. Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-add tayo ng number sa 0, ang sagot ay yung number na yon pa din. So, for any integer a plus 0 is equal to a. So, sabi nga, the sum of any number or integer and 0 will always be equal to the number itself. Gaya na sinabi ko, kapag nag-add tayo ng kahit anong integer or number sa 0, ang sagot ay yung number na yon pa din. So, the identity element of addition is 0. Ulit, ang identity element of addition ay 0. Next is identity property of multiplication. So, ibig sabihin naman ito, para maging itself yung sagot, kailangan natin siya i-multiply sa 1. So, ibig sabihin, 32 times 1 is equal to 32. Negative 5 times 1 is equal to negative 5. Meaning to say, for any integers a times 1 ay equal sa a. The product of any number and 1 will always be equal to the number itself. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-multiply tayo ng kahit anong number or integer sa 1, ang sagot ay yung sarili pa din niya. So, the identity element of multiplication is 1. Ulit, ang identity element of addition ay 0 at ang identity element ng multiplication ay 1. Yun yung mga number na kailangan mo i-add at i-multiply na ang magiging sagot ay yung sarili nila or itself. So, that's identity property. Next ay inverse property naman. So, that is like opposite or yung reciprocal. So, ginagamit natin yung word na opposite kasi nga, di ba, inverse, parang kabaligtaran. So, for addition, we use the word opposite. Tapos, sa multiplication, we use the word reciprocal. Okay, yun yung kabaligtaran nila. So, for example, additive inverse property. So, for addition to. Ang additive inverse ay 10 i-add sa kanyang kabaligtaran. So, anong kabaligtaran ng positive 10 or opposite? So, that's negative 10. The answer will be 0. Okay? And then, we have negative 2. Ang kabaligtaran ng negative 2 ay positive 2, correct? And if we add them, the answer is 0. So, meaning to say, for any integers A plus kabaligtaran yung negative A niya, ang sagot lagi ay 0. So, the opposite of the given integer is called its additive inverse. Ulit, ang opposite ng given na integer, ang tawag doon ay additive inverse. So, the sum of a number and its additive inverse is always 0. Okay? Next, we have multiplicative inverse property. So, ano naman kaya magiging sagot kapag multiply natin yung reciprocal ng numbers? So, I have here 3. Multiply by 1 over 3. So, ibig sabihin, reciprocal yung kabaligtaran niya. Okay? For multiplication, since this 3, ito ay understood na 3 over 1. Diba? Lahat ng integers or yung integers natin, that's understood over 1. Okay? So, I have here 3 over 1. Pag binaligtad ko yan sa multiplication, so I have 1 over 3. Okay? That's multiplicative inverse. So, meron tayong 3. Multiply natin sa kanyang reciprocal. Ang sagot ay 1. Okay? Let's have the other example. I have here 5. Ang kanyang reciprocal ay 1 over 5. Correct? And the answer is 1. So, meaning to say, the reciprocal of the given integer is called its multiplicative inverse. Ang reciprocal daw ng given integer is multiplicative inverse. Ang tawag dito, multiplicative inverse. So, the product of a number at yung kanyang multiplicative inverse ay laging 1. Okay? Next, zero property. So, this is zero property of multiplication lang ang meron tayo. So, ibig sabihin yan, for example, negative 98 multiplied by 0, the answer is 0. 25 times 0 is 0. So, ang dala, di ba? Ibig sabihin lang yan, kahit anong integer na i-multiply mo sa 0, ang sagot ay laging 0. So, for any integer A, kahit ano daw integer na A, pag si A ay minultiply mo kay 0, ang magiging sagot lagi ay 0. So, any number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So, last is the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Ayan, meron na tayong two operations. So, meron tayong, for example, I have here this given 6 multiply. So, walang operation in between, pero may parenthesis. Ang ibig sabihin yan ay multiplication. Okay, huwag kayong malilito. So, I have here 6 multiply by the quantity or yung ginroup natin na 4 and 8 or 4 plus 8. So, di ba ang karaniwan natin ginagawa, sabi natin, we can do this wherein we need to add first kung ano yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. Tama? Okay, tama. Pero pwede din naman na i-distribute muna natin siya by the word itself, distributive. Okay, so pwede daw natin siyang i-distribute gamit tong distributive property of multiplication over addition. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, itong si 6, pwede nating i-multiply muna kay 4. So, that's 6 times 4 here. At itong 6, pwede din kay 8. I-multiply kay 8. 6 times 8. Tapos, kopyahin natin yung addition. Okay? So, that is multiplication over addition. Ulit, 6 times 4, i-distribute natin by the word itself, distributive. 6 times 4, dahil plus siya, so plus si 6 times 8. Okay? So, tingnan nga natin paano pag ginawa natin tong part na to. So, let's have 6 times 4 plus 8 ay 12. So, 6 times 12, the answer is 72. Tingnan natin kung magiging pareho yung sagot kapag ginamit natin tong distributive property of multiplication over addition. So, what's 6 times 4? This one is 24 plus 6 times 8 is 48. So, what is 24 plus 48? So, still 72. Okay? So, meaning to say, distributive property of multiplication over addition, so pwede din nating i-distribute muna yung nasa labas na number before we multiply. Before we add. So, we have here 72. Mapupunta tayo sa same answer. Let's have another example. I have here negative 5 multiplied by the quantity of negative 3 plus 10. So, ibig sabihin, pwede natin gawin ay yung groupings muna, pero pwede din natin siyang i-distribute. Okay? So, that's property. So, pag ginawa natin tong isang to, gagawin muna natin yung negative 3 plus 10. So, that is negative 5 multiplied by positive 7. Tama? Ginawa muna natin tong negative 3 plus 10, which is positive 7. Okay? And then, the answer here is negative 35. Tingnan naman natin pag distribute natin. So, si negative 5 multiplied by negative 3. So, eto yan. Copy the plus sign. And then, negative 5 multiplied by positive 10. Tingnan natin kung mapupunta tayo sa same answer. So, we have negative 5 times negative 3. That's positive 15. Tama? Plus negative 5 times positive 10 ay negative 50. So, 15 plus negative 50, gaya ng rule natin, different sign, pag pinag-add mo, kailangan mo silang isubtract ang absolute value. So, the answer is 35, and then, mas malaki si 50, so negative 35. So, that is distributive property of multiplication over addition. So, yun yung topic natin for this day. Ayan, dahil nga natutunan na natin ang tungkol sa properties of operations, ngayon naman, sagutan natin yung learning task number 2 nyo sa inyong module, and that is to complete the following to make true statements, and then after that, we need to determine the property applied. Okay, so let's have number 1. So sabi dyan, we have 18 plus blank is equal to 6 plus 18. So ano ang kailangan ilagay natin sa number na ito para maging totoo siya or maging equal siya? Okay, so sabi natin here, we have 18 na pareho. So ibig sabihin, ang nawawala dito is si 6. Correct? Okay, so lagay natin ay 6. Tingnan nga natin kung tama. Because 6 plus 18, that will give us 24. And 18 plus 6, that will give us 24. So, ibig sabihin, equal silang dalawa. Okay? Ang pinagkaiba lang is the position or the order ng ating addends. Therefore, ang in-apply natin ditong property is the commutative property of addition. Kasi sabi doon, na kahit daw maiba yung order of our addends, still, pareho yung makukuha natin na sum. Just like here, nauna dito si 18 kaysa sa kay 6, pero ang sagot pa rin is 24. At sa kabila naman, nauna si 6 kaysa kay 18, pero nakakuha pa rin tayo ng sagot na 24. Okay? Next, number 2 naman. We have negative 40 plus blank is equal to 0. So, ano daw number ang i-add natin kay negative 40 para makuha ang 0? Okay? So, we have negative 40 here. Ang kailangan natin i-add sa kanya ay positive 40. Tama? Positive 40. Because adding this one, negative 40 and positive 40, that will give us 0. Okay? So, anong property ang in-apply natin dyan? Yung additive inverse property. Diba? Kasi sabi natin, the sum of a number and its additive inverse is equal to 0. Okay, so negative 40, ang kabaligtaran niya ay positive 40. Kapag kainad natin sila, ang makukuha natin ay 0. Number 3, we have here, nakagroup si 10 plus 3, tapos plus 6 is equal to, so anong nawawala dito sa kabila? Siyempre, yung 3 and 6. Okay? And dito, i-group naman natin si 3 at saka si 6. 3 plus 6. Kung mapapansin natin, we have here the groupings na 10 and 3. Dito naman sa kabila ay 3 at saka 6. Tingnan natin kung makakakuha tayo ng same na answer.
10 plus 3, that will give us, kasi unahin natin yung nasa parenthesis, di ba? 10 plus 3, that will give us 13, plus 6, that will give us 19. How about, kapag dito, inuna natin yung naka-parenthesis na 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6, that will give us 9. Plus 10, we have 19. So, therefore, equal sila. Okay? And that is associative property of addition. Kasi ang sabi sa associative property of addition, kahit daw mabago yung groupings ng addends natin, makakakuha tayo ng parehong sum. Okay? Next, we have number 4 naman is negative 15 plus blank is equal to negative 15 pa rin. So, anong number ang kailangan nating i-add sa isang number para makuha yung sarili pa rin niya? Okay? So, we have the answer is 0. Tama? Because if we add a number to 0, makukuha natin is that number pa din. Okay? That is under identity property of addition. Diba sabi dyan, kahit anong number na i-add mo kay 0, ang makukuha mo yung number na yun pa din. Okay? Number 5. For number 5 naman, ano daw number yung add natin kay 0 naman para makuha si 42? Parang pareho lang siya ng number 4, di ba? But dito, hinahanap natin yung number mismo na i-add natin kay 0. At para makuha natin yung 42, kailangan i-add natin sa kanya ay 42 pa din. Okay? Because 42 plus 0, that will give us 42. And again, this is under identity property of addition. Identity property of addition. Okay, huwag niyo kakalimutan ha. Number 6 naman. Dito sa number 6 natin, we have negative 2 nasa labas multiply sa quantity ng 5 plus 8. Nakagroup si 5 plus 8, tapos tsaka lang daw natin siya i-multiply sa negative 2. Okay? Is equal to blank plus negative 16. So, tingnan natin. Kapag inad natin itong dalawang to, unahin natin, that will give us 13. Tama? That will give us 13. Now, if this 13, sabi natin, i-multiply naman natin siya next kay negative 2, that will give us negative 26. Correct? Therefore, dito sa kabila, anong number ang kailangan natin i-add kay negative 16 para makuha natin yung negative 26? At iyon ay negative 10. Diba? Because negative 10 plus negative 16, that will give us negative 26. Kapareho nitong kabila. So, titingnan natin anong property ang in-apply natin dyan. So, we apply there the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Kasi kung makikita natin, sabi natin kanina, ito ay pwedeng 2 or negative 2 times 5, negative 2 times 5, plus yung negative 2, ita-times din natin sa positive 8, diba? That's distributive property of multiplication over addition. Negative 2 times positive 8. Okay? So, therefore, ito ay negative 10 plus negative 16. Meron na tayong negative 16 doon. Therefore, tama siya na negative 10 yung hinahanap natin doon. Okay? So, that is distributive property of multiplication over addition. Next naman natin is 30 multiplied to a number is equal to 30. So, hinahanap natin tong blank na ito. Ano daw ang number ang kailangan natin i-multiply to 30 to get 30 pa rin? Yung sarili niya. Okay? So, that is 1. 30 multiply to 1 is equal to 30 pa din. So, kung kanina meron tayong identity property of addition, na sarili niya yung nakukuha niya, meron din tayo sa multiplication. And that is identity property naman of multiplication. Kasi multiplication na yung operation natin. Ibig sabihin, any number multiplied to 1, ang makukuha is the number itself pa din. Okay? Let's move to number 8. Sa number 8 naman, we have here, nakagroup C4 and 6. Then, tsaka pa lang siya i-multiply kay 2. Dito naman sa kabila, anong nawawala? So, we have 6 and 2. Dahil may 4 na tayo doon, understood naman. So, i-group natin ang multiplication naman si 6 at C2. Okay? 6 and 2 yan. Parenthesis yan. So, we have 4 times 6, that will give us 24. Multiply kay 2, that will give us 48. Tama? Tingnan natin sa kabila kung pareho tayo na makukuha. 6 times 2, that's equal to 12. and then multiply to 4, that will give us 48 pa din. Okay, so ibig sabihin they are equal. And this is under associative property of multiplication. Yung groupings din na bago, okay, yung factors natin, yung groupings ay nabago, pero pareho pa rin yung sagot na makukuha natin. Okay, let's have number 9. 15 multiplied to a number that will give us 0. So ano daw i-multiply natin sa isang number para makuha ang 0? Yun ay 0. Okay? So this is under what? Zero property of multiplication. Kasi sabi sa zero property of multiplication, any number multiplied to 0, ang sagot ay 0. Kahit yan ay 1 million pa, i-multiply mo kay 0, 0 pa rin ang magiging sagot. Okay, let's have the last one, which is number 10. Sabi dyan, 12 multiplied to negative 4 is equal to blank multiplied to 12. So, ano nawawala? Ano number ay multiply mo kay 12? So, si negative 4. Okay? Ang pinagkaiba lang nilang dalawa is the order. Okay? Or yung arrangement ng ating number. Okay? Nauna dito si 12, dito si negative 4, dito sa kabila si negative 4, dito si 12. But, if you multiply this, 12 times negative 4, that will give us negative 48. Same thing with this thing. Negative 4 times 12, that will give us negative 48. And that is under commutative property of multiplication. And now let's have learning task number 3. So we have here, we need to identify the property being used in each situation, and then let's express the statement in mathematical form. So we have here the situation number 1. I go to the store and buy instant noodles for 7.75 pesos. Can of sardines for 16 pesos, and 2 sachet of coffee for 12.25 pesos. So, how much money do I need to pay? So, unahin natin yung mathematical form muna ng ating situation. So, sabi dyan, I go to the store and buy instant noodles for 7.75 pesos daw. Bumili daw siya ng noodles. So, that is for 7.75. That is for 7.75 pesos daw. And then, can of sardines daw for 16 pesos. So, i-add natin si 16 pesos para malaman natin kung magkano ang kanyang babayaran. And then, after that, we need to add this to what? 2 sachet of coffee for 12.25 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, dalawang sachet ng coffee and then 12.25 yung isa. So, therefore, kailangan nating i-group si multiplication ito. And we need to multiply yung 2 kay 12.25. Tama kasi dalawang sachet ng kape. So, ibig sabihin, we have there the groupings of our multiplication, and that is equal to what? 12.25 multiplied to 2, that will give us 24.50. And then, added to these 2, so 7.75 plus 16, that will give us 23.75. And then after that, we need to add these two. Ito yung quantity na ng multiplication, 24.50. And then we have 23.75. At pag inad natin yan, that will give us what? Okay, so we have 48.25. So, ibig sabihin, ang babayaran niya sa tindahan ay 48 pesos and 25 centavos. Ngayon, anong property ang ginamit natin dyan? We use what? We use the associative property of multiplication. Okay? Yan. Associative property, tapos of multiplication na lang yung ilagay natin. Yan, of multiplication. Next, Mrs. Mijares needs to buy 2 sets of 8 notebooks and 5 pens for her son and daughter for their school supplies. So, how many items of school supplies does she needs to buy? Okay, so bumili daw siya ng 2 set ng 8 na notebook at 5 ballpen para sa kanyang mga anak. Okay, so ibig sabihin, that 2 set, we have there, in mathematical form, we have there yung 2 set ng 8 at saka ng 5. Okay? Ayan. Yung 8 at 5, yun yung isang set ng notebooks and pens. Ngayon, 2 set nun. So, ibig sabihin, we're gonna have 2 multiply to 8 plus 5. Dalawa nung 8 plus 5. Okay? 8 yung notebook, 5 yung pen, dalawang set ng ganon. So, that's why we multiply it to 2. And that will give us what? That will give us, so we have here, we can do the addition first inside the 8 plus 5, then multiply it to 2. Or we can use the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Diba? Yun yung kanyang property. So, we have here 13 times 2. Okay? And that will give us 26. Therefore, she needs to buy 26 school supply. Okay? Or pwede din naman na 2 times 8, 2 set of 8 notebooks add sa 2 sets din ng 5 na pens. Okay? So, therefore, we're gonna have 16 plus 10. That will give us also 26. Okay? So, we have 26 school supplies ang kailangan niyang bilhin. Okay? So, this is under distributive property of multiplication. Okay. Distributive property of multiplication over addition.